Welcome to B&B Movie Reviews. The new year is here, which means there's 12 months of new films for us to get excited about and hopefully live up to our expectations.
We'll take a look at what's coming out in 2025 and the movies that we're most anticipating for this upcoming year. Stay right there. B&B is up next. Welcome to B&B Movie Reviews. Well, we've looked back and gave you our top favorite films of 2024. Now we look ahead to 2025 to give you some of our most anticipated movies we are looking forward to this upcoming year. All right, Brad, so here we go, 2025. So I always love doing this show.
So do I.
Because I love waiting a year later to look back at these movies that were...
Let's not look at our most anticipated movies of 2024. It did not go well for Brad.
You don't want to look back at that?
No, I do not. I do not. I want to look ahead. I'm all about the future, Bryan.
All right.
Let's get excited about the possibilities.
Yes, the possibilities. And so what we got coming this year, so right now in this segment, we're going to talk about our 10, 9, and 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Oh, so am I. Good.
So my number 10 is Thunderbolts.
Okay.
But my number 11 is Captain America, Brave New World. So I want to talk about those as a two-hander.
Okay.
What's your number 10?
Well, my number 10 is the three Marvel movies. I'm putting all three as my 10th most anticipated film.
Okay.
Thunderbolts, Captain America, Brave New World, and Fantastic Four: First Steps.
All right, let's talk about Marvel.
I think we are at a very critical moment for Marvel. You know, we had one movie last year from them, Deadpool and Wolverine, $1 billion, easy, right? But that really felt like the conclusion of the 20th Century Fox movies.
Yes, it did.
And not really a continuation or even an add-on to the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, the superhero landscape right now, the hunger for the superhero film seems to have dipped quite a bit. I'm not sure Captain America: Brave New World in February is going to do a lot of money. I hope.
Same.
I hope it's great.
Same.
And if it is great, I think it will do money.
Yeah.
But if it's middle of the road,
that's not
Marvel
what
can't afford it.
Yeah, that's not what Marvel needs right now, and that's the thing that kind of makes me a little hesitant about it. Like, I mean, for me, I'm excited. I'm finding myself hard. That's why it's not in my top 10 to get excited about Captain America. But I'm excited to see a black Captain America.
Yes.
I'm excited to see Sam Wilson finally take that mantle.
Yes.
Thunderbolts was at my number 10, and I'm a little more excited for that movie because I want to see, there's a little more mystery around that one for me. As far as like the title, what that asterisk mean, the combination of these characters who we've never really seen together outside of Yelena and Red Guardian.
I feel like we have been craving a team movie because we haven't had an Avengers film.
That's true.
We did have Eternals, but that's just a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I want some of that feeling that we got probably the last time in Spider-Man: No Way Home, where you have a bunch of eccentric characters forced into a room together, having conversations. That is exciting.
Yeah, and Fantastic Four.
Well, Fantastic Four, you know, like this movie means a lot to me. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's original run on Fantastic Four is one of the great comic book runs, and it's never had, you know, a cinematic adaptation that's worthy of these source material, in my opinion.
That's true.
Maybe we're going to get it here. We haven't seen much of it yet.
No,
We've seen glimpses at Comic-Con and D23.
Yeah.
Haven't really loved them personally.
Okay, there's a lot riding on that because of the previous films.
I love comics. I love Marvel Comics. I want Marvel Comics to do well cinematically.
Yeah, so that's at our 10. For me, my number 9 is Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
Yeah, sure.
It's a little bit lower on my list. I love these Mission Impossible movies. I have talked about it before. The previous one, which the poster is right behind you, Dead Reckoning. I like that movie. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the choices that was made with some of the characters.
But is it the worst Mission Impossible movie?
No. No.
Is it
no.
the second worst Mission Impossible
I have to look
movie?
at my list. I'll say no.
No.
So, I mean,
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but as far as anticipation, it's in my top 10, but it's a little bit lower for me.
Yeah.
What's at your number 9?
My number 9 was my number 1 of last year's most anticipated list. It's Mickey 17, the new Bong Joon-ho film, which was supposed to come out last year, then was supposed to come out early this year, has now been pushed to spring. Where will Mickey 17 fall? I like the trailer, but it feels a lot like a movie that I like a lot called Moon from Duncan Jones.
I didn't think about that,
You know, like, is this going to tread any new ground? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I love Bong Joon-ho as a director, and Parasite, it was for us a phenomenal movie. I'm not the biggest fan of Okja, and I get Okja vibes from Mickey 17. Still excited to see Mickey 17, but it's just hard. It's in my honorable mentions, so I'm still excited, but it just couldn't get into my top 10.
And I'm still excited. It's just no longer my number 1.
What's your number 8?
Number 8 is a film that I think you're going to give me some slack for, but it's Paddington in Peru. And I know this film has already released across the pond and didn't set the world on fire over there. But the Paddington franchise is beloved. I cherish those first 2 films directed by Paul King. And this one is not directed by Paul King.
No.
Dougal Wilson is directing this one.
Okay.
The trailer at the same time still gives me the warm and fuzzies. Okay. And I just need a movie right now like Paddington and Paddington 2 that is going to inject some warmth and positivity and hope into my life.
I get that.
And I just need it to be good.
I get that. Quickly, my number 8 is we talked about musical biopics last episode our so my number 8 most anticipated is Michael. Antoine Fuqua is doing a biopic of Michael Jackson. Yeah. This feels it can be epic in scope like Elvis. Now, we may have
it could be a lot like Elvis.
I know. But I'm like, if you bring that scope to a story of Michael Jackson and his music library, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just something about, and I know Michael Jackson can be a controversial figure for a lot of people, and I hope that the movie deals with that in a very sensitive,
I don't think so at all. I don't think it's going to deal with it at all because the family wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want to license the music to the film.
That's true.
If that was the case. I think we're going to get a very glossy biopic from Antoine Fuqua.
I'm a fan of Michael Jackson. I'm a fan of his music, and I just hope that it lives up to his musical library.
And I hope for you.
Well, thank you. All right, so those are our 10 through 8. When we return, we'll continue going down our list of the most anticipated movies of 2025. Stay right there.
I only had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor, but then we matched. Dear donor, we beat leukemia. Thank you forever and ever.
Save a life at nmdp.org.
All right, guys, we are back to talk about our most anticipated of 2025. So we're going to continue going down our list with our 7, 6, and 5 picks. Brad, during the break, you were kind of cackling. I'm curious. I want you to go first. What's your number 7 ? Come on, talk to me.
I'm a very, special flower of a person.
There we go.
I have my own tastes and my own likes, and I have no reason to think that this movie is going to be bad. I'm excited to see The Naked Gun. The remake of the Leslie Nielsen slapstick comedy starring Liam Neeson in the Leslie Nielsen Frank Drebin role. It's directed by Akiva Schaffer. It's the Lonely Island Boys. Pop star. That's a brilliant comedy.
Oh, you're selling me now.
So you bring that Lonely Island energy back to the Naked Gun franchise, and you put Liam Neeson in that role because that's the thing. Liam Neeson is funny. If you watched Extras, he's a funny dude.
Yeah, he is.
And if this movie has a script and the support system around him, this could be a riot of a flick. And it's been a while since we've had a knockdown, drag out comedy. Yeah. And I think this is going to deliver.
You know what?
I'm hopeful.
I didn't know it was the Lonely Island guys, and I love Pop Star.
Yeah.
You sold me.
Yeah.
I take everything I say back.
All
I
right.
apologize. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to Naked Gun. I don't know if it's top 10 for me, but it definitely needs to be on my list. I had no idea, so I'm looking forward to that. My number 7 is Predator the Badlands.
Yeah, okay.
I like Prey. I know they moved it to Hulu, had it on streaming.
Yeah, that was a COVID situation.
Yeah, that was a COVID situation. But
Also,
the movie,
Disney, Hulu.
yeah,
20th
it was during
Century
that
Fox,
time where
yeah.
they were trying to figure all that stuff out. But it was critically praised. It got a great response from the fan base.
Yeah.
And they kept the budget small with Prey.
Yeah.
I don't know what Badlands is going to be about, but I always thought it was going to be hard to kind of try to reinvigorate that franchise after The Predator. Because to me, that movie
talking about that one.
Yeah. So, but coming out of this from Prey, they found new life with this franchise.
Yeah, and the same filmmaker.
And the same filmmaker, Dan Trachtenberg, who also did, I believe, 12 Cloverfield Lane.
I believe it's 10 Cloverfield Lane. We haven't gotten that sequel yet.
We haven't gotten the sequel, still waiting for that. Yeah. So I like him as a director, and I think if he can do what he did with Prey, keep the budget low still, I don't know if it takes place in the future, in a different time period, but this could be exciting. I'm looking forward to that one.
And getting it back on the big screen, you know.
Yes.
And maybe we can get Prey back on the big screen in the build-up toward it.
Yeah, I'll just say quickly, my number 6 is Fantastic Four. We had just talked about that in the last segment, but looking forward to that movie. What's your number 6?
Mission Impossible: The Final Countdown.
Yeah.
I felt the same way about the last one, Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's never going to get a part 2, apparently. But this is a franchise that I really look forward to every time there's a new entry. Christopher McQuarrie, he's been directing the last batch of movies.
Yeah.
I like all of them. I don't think there's a dud in the bunch. I think the last one was the weakest. But I have faith that they're going to deliver something powerful with this one.
I hope so.
And let's hope it's not Spectre, the James Bond of the Mission Impossible franchise.
You see, it's interesting you say that because while you were talking, I was thinking about what we talked about last week with Dune, where you compared that to Kill Bill 1 and 2, where I feel like maybe watching The Final Reckoning will make Dead Reckoning feel more like a complete story.
Maybe.
But, if it's like you say, Spectre with James Bond, hopefully it's not that.
Yeah, you got to Christoph Waltz and he was like the architect of all his pain, and I'm worried that we're going to have a figure here, like the AI system from Dead Reckoning is going to be revealed to be a person who's been orchestrating everything.
From the very beginning.
And, I don't love what's being anticipated from the trailer outside of the big set pieces.
Okay, all right.
I have faith.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're going to get great stunts, and Tom Cruise is always.
He's going to run a lot.
He's definitely going to run a lot at 60, which is crazy. I can't do that. I'm almost half his age. Anyway, my number 5 is Tron Ares.
Okay. Okay.
I like the world of Tron. I liked Tron Legacy. I'm not going to say it's only because of the Daft Punk score, although I do love that score. But look, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are doing it under the moniker of Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the score.
The score is going to be good. The set design is going to be great.
The set design is going to be great.
It's going to look good.
Yeah,
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I know Jared Leto, but Jeff Bridges is coming back, so we will have some continuity at some point with that. But yeah, you're right. The set design, the look, I'm excited to see how they can continue this story and if this can launch into a franchise where we can get more films. And
we'll finally get maybe a good Tron film.
Oh, goodness. Are you serious?
I like all the Tron movies.
Okay.
Just playing.
I was like, no, don't do that to me. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is a movie that I really can't justify it being here, but it's here. It's The Monkey. It's coming out real soon. It's the new horror film from Osgood Perkins.
I thought you weren't a fan of Osgood Perkins.
His movies, they're fascinating.
Okay.
They never quite do it for me, but I'm always intrigued by them.
Okay.
And the trailer for The Monkey is fantastic. It looks extremely violent, extremely disturbing.
Yeah.
Based on a Stephen King short story, 2 brothers find a toy monkey, and everyone around them starts dying in horrible ways. It's going to be stylish, and it's going to
Yeah.
be darkly comedic.
Well, that's the thing that I took away from the trailer is that it looks very darkly comedic. I mean, it almost looks like a horror comedy, not in the sense of like a Scream where it's like a parody, where it could actually, it feels like it could go into the realm of satire. But it intrigued me watching that trailer because I wasn't expecting that tone.
And there's always quality cinematography with an Osgood Perkins movie.
Yeah. So, all right. So those are our picks, 7 through 5. So when we return, we'll get into our top 4 picks. So stay right there. All right.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
All right, so we are back to continue our top movies of 2025. So, Brad,
Yes.
let's continue the conversation with our
Yes.
number 4 pick. Did you go first last time? Yeah, you did, because you were cackling. I said,
Yeah,
you had naked gun.
yeah,
All right,
you go.
I'll kick this one off. So my number 4, let me pull up my list. I just looked at, you kind of made fun of me about this one. I love this world. It's from the world of John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Ballerina.
No, man, this
No?
is not going to be good. It's,
Wait. This is not going to be good.
I don't think so.
Why? Talk to me.
Because it's the
I know, Len Wiseman.
Len Wiseman director.
But the thing is like, it's high on my list because I just love the world of John Wick. I love how stylish it looks, the way that Chad Stahelski kind of like brings in color and the lavishness of it. But, and I know Len Wiseman is directing it, but I know they did reshoots, and Chad Stahelski is kind of the overseer of this world. And so
if Chad Stahelski stepped foot on the set, I'd be surprised.
I think he actually directed a lot of the reshoots.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hopeful for this. Look, I enjoyed this more than I did that terrible show, The Continental, on Peacock.
I never watched it.
Good, you're not missing anything. But again, like I said, and you're bringing back, oh goodness, why am I forgetting?
Keanu Reeves?
No, well, Keanu, yes, but I was thinking of Winston.
Why'd you do this to me, Brian? Cut this out.
I know.
Don't make me forget Winston's name.
Shane, Ian McShane. Ian McShane, we got there. We finally got there. Ian McShane, Keanu Reeves, and the late, great Lance Reddick are all coming back for this. So it's connecting to the larger world. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. What's your number 4?
I love the John Wick movies, but it's just, no. 28 years later.
That's in my honorable mentions.
The movie that I'm really looking forward to. The trailer is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of taking it so far beyond the first film. What does this world look like 28 years after the rage virus destroyed everything? What does it do to humanity?
Yeah, especially with people who have survived since then.
Yeah.
What has it done to them?
And, Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's like his 100th film in the last 2 years. Ray Fiennes in this movie.
All right.
Love this guy.
All right.
But it's really the power of that trailer. Danny Boyle coming back, Alex Garland coming back on screenplay duties. But that trailer and the music of that trailer, it's really upsetting. I found myself, watching a little bit through my fingers.
I'm excited.
Intriguing.
I'm excited to get another Danny Boyle movie, and especially within this world. 28 Days Later, I thought was a revolution at the time in 2002, I believe, when it came out. Especially in the way that it was filmed,
Have you gone back and looked at the digital photography of 28 Days Later?
Not recently.
It's rough.
It's rough, but again, groundbreaking.
Yeah, groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
And even in that rough cinematography, it has a vibe.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that one. You said that was your number 4. So your number 3.
But number 3 is another Stephen King adaptation.
Okay.
This time it's The Running Man, but it's directed by Edgar Wright.
Yeah, that's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But Edgar Wright, Running Man.
Glenn Powell in the Arnold Schwarzenegger role, although I think this film's going to be very different than the action film from 1987. It is about a reality TV show that puts people on the run, being chased by stalkers, actual killers.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell's going to be the person being stalked. But Edgar Wright, I think he's going to do a lot of justice to the source material, the Stephen King book that he wrote under the pen name of Richard Bachman.
Okay.
Those were the books that were the most upsetting and gnarly.
Okay.
So yeah, I think.
I hope the movie follows suit with that.
Yeah. We'll
I'm excited. I'm always excited for a new Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard the new casting at the time that we're recording this about who will be playing the role of the host.
Oh, the host? Oh no, who?
Coleman Domingo.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
Yeah, he's great too.
Yeah. This movie's gonna be great.
I'm excited for that one. It's in my honorable mentions. Maybe it should be higher, but my number 3, you already know. Avatar, Fire and Ash. I like that. I like the first movie. I love that second movie, Way of Water, and it really kind of solidified my love for this franchise and where we could go. Like these are experiential movies. Like you have to experience this in the cinema.
Do I have to? Why does that sound like a threat?
because you're going to go with me, Brad, to the theater to see this in 3D.
Of course I'm going to watch
IMAX 3D. No, but I do enjoy these movies,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, James Cameron, he gives everything of himself and his entire bank account to these movies.
Yeah.
I think you do need to watch them on the big screen to enjoy them at all. So I will be there.
Yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2, I'll just say this real quick. One of my favorite directors, I'm so glad that he is finally doing an original piece, getting away from Marvel, although I do love what he did with Marvel.
Just like John Watson Wolf's, one of our most anticipated films of 2024.
Please don't let this go the way of wolves. Ryan Coogler doing Sinners. Reuniting with Michael B. Jordan, or uniting, let me say uniting, because he's never departed from Michael B. Jordan. But for him to do an original idea, something that's set in the time of slavery, or like the Prohibition times. I'm not sure exactly the exact time period, but
Prohibition and slavery, very different times.
Very different times, yeah.
I haven't watched the trailer. I'm so excited I've skipped the trailer.
Yeah, so supposed to be possibly about vampires. Michael B. Jordan playing 2 different characters, twins. I'm just excited because it's a new Ryan Coogler movie.
Yeah,
I love Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is another favorite filmmaker.
Okay.
It's Guillermo del Toro, and it's his Frankenstein, which is going to be a Netflix movie. And if you know anything about Guillermo del Toro, you know that he's obsessed with the Mary Shelley novel.
Yes.
And we've had so many different adaptations of that book. But I think there's always room for one more. In fact, we're going to get 2 Frankenstein movies in 2025. Maggie Gyllenhaal has The Bride, and I'm excited about that one too.
I am. That one, I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So, we know the story, but we don't know what it's going to look like lensed through Guillermo's imagination.
Yeah.
Look at Pinocchio.
I know.
That Pinocchio doesn't look like any other Pinocchio.
That's what I was thinking about, and that's what gets me excited about you can't help but to get excited for Guillermo del Toro and what he's going to do next. And knowing his love for Frankenstein and what he can bring to this, count me in on this one. So excited for that. So so those are our 4, 3, and 2. So when we get back, our number 1 most anticipated movie of 2025. Stay right there. I know.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing the blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
All right, we are back. We have reached the illustrious number 1 pick of our most anticipated of 2025. So, Brad, again, our list very different.
Yep.
Which I love. It gives people out there, just different things to recommend so they know what's coming their way. But again, I think we're aligned.
We've been doing this show too long together.
Yeah. Our most anticipated movie. What are we looking forward to?
James Gunn's Superman.
There you go, Superman.
We started this episode kind of like struggling with our feelings about where Marvel is as far as their cinematic output is going. And, you know, DC's had far more downs than ups.
True, very true.
But the ups that they have had have come from James Gunn. Like the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's last movie.
Love that movie.
Is, or second to last movie, is fantastic. And extremely emotional. And he did that using some of the most vile characters in the pantheon of DC Comics. So now what is it going to be that he is making the original superhero's story?
Yeah, that's what gets me excited. Like, it's James Gunn directing. It's me actually getting excited.
And writing.
Coming off of The Suicide Squad, which was my favorite movie of 2021, coming off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I think is one of Marvel's best movies that they've done since Endgame.
One of the few exceptions.
Easily. And James Gunn is a director that I feel like his sensibilities really resonate with me personally, as far as like how he's able to kind of bring emotion and just nuance to like the whole found family, to outsiders
and he
as
has
characters.
A true passion for the source material. He's not just telling a Superman story. He knows that when you're going to tell a proper DC comic Superman story, you're going to need some Guy Gardner. You're going to need some Mr. Terrific. You're going to need Crypto. And you're going to need the Fortress of Solitude with its, you know, Fortress of Solitude robots. Let's go. Let's make a comic book movie.
And I'm excited for it. And this kicks off this new DC universe, and it gets me excited. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning of the show with Marvel and where superhero films and comic book movies are with the masses, kind of dipping a little bit with as far as like the excitement for them. But I think now with DC coming in with Superman, and we saw from that trailer release and how people have responded to that trailer, that it feels like DC, it gets me excited for what they're going to do coming up next.
Just tell good stories.
That's it, man. Tell good stories.
Give me one good Superman movie.
And I think that's the thing that excites me about Superman, is because what you just said is what James Gunn is about. He's about telling good stories.
Starting with the script, right? We're not shooting until we've locked down this script.
I
don't know why every other movie doesn't work that way, but for some reason it doesn't.
So I'm excited, man.
I hope it's my #1 movie of the year.
Same. I mean, it's very rare that kind of aligns with our most anticipated.
This could be the one. If you tell a great Superman story, that's Brad's catnip.
There you go, man. There you go. So before we get out, I do want to mention some honorable mentions. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah,
but
I got some.
A lot of the ones you mentioned were on my list. I did have Mickey 17, Running Man, 28 Days Later. What else did you have?
Well, Celine Song, who made one of my favorite films from a couple years back, Past Lives, has a new movie with Dakota Johnson called Materialists. That's absolutely on my list. Alto Nights is the Robert De Niro twin movie, directed by Barry Levinson. I'm all about that. The Safdie brothers have 2 movies coming out this year. The one I'm most excited about is the Timothée Chalamet movie. You're wondering, like, why does he have that weird mustache at the Golden Globes? It's because of Mr. Supreme. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
I'll just mention a couple of more. I mean, Karate Kid Legends. I wasn't big on Karate Kid. I'm not a big fan of Cobra Kai, but that trailer really sold me. So I was like, okay, I'm interested.
Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, back.
I got it, together.
And the kid is from an American-born Chinese. Fantastic.
I saw that show, which was great, and he was good in it, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do in that. Timo Giganto just came off of The Shadow Strays. We love A Night Comes for Us. I'm hoping that him coming to America doesn't dilute his visual style and his kinetic energy that he brings to action films.
I hope they let him cook.
Nobody too. I hope he cooks on that one. F1, I'm looking forward to that. Joseph Kosinski coming off of Top Gun Maverick. So
Trailer's amazing.
yeah, and then everything else we mentioned, and The Accountant 2. I'm looking forward to.
And we're done.
always
Everyone,
got to get that
wrap it up.
reaction. I got to get that reaction out of
Wrap it
you
up.
before we leave. So yes, there we go. The Accountant 2. Yeah, those are our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. Let's hope that these movies live up to our expectations. All right, so thank you for joining us on this latest episode of B&B Movie Reviews. Come be a part of the conversation. If you have questions, suggestions, feel free to email us at bnbmoviereviews@gmail.com. And with that, we will see you at the movies.